Hi, and welcome to another tutorial for the CG Brothers. In this tutorial we're going to use Lightwave, and we're going to export a file out of Lightwave and import it into 3D Studio Max. There's a website on the internet, it's NewTek's website as a matter of fact, and it has a ton of really cool models you can download and see how these artists had created these really neat scenes. You can look at their models and their lighting and their texturing and how they set up their rendering. There's a ton of them on here. There's about 20 pages or so of models. And down here, this is the one I chose to do, is by a guy named R. Feeney in Galloway, Ireland, and he did a Celtic cross. So I went ahead and downloaded it here. It's a zip file and unarchived that out. And we'll go ahead and do that now. So we'll load it up into NewTek's Lightwave. So let's go ahead and load the scene. Alright, there it is. You can also look at it with their Lightwave's viewport preview renderer, which is a real-time renderer that shows kind of what you'd see in software when you render it out with textures and lighting. Go back to the normal shaded, and let's go ahead and export that file. And we're going to use the FBX format, which is Filmbox, i.e. Motion Builder now, and we'll use the default 2011. We'll overwrite the one I did previously just to make sure it works. Say OK, and then we'll go ahead and go into 3D Studio Max. Let's import that file. Alright, and then we'll just accept all the default settings of import. Make sure it's in centimeters. I've had problems in the past if I don't have it on centimeters. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but keep it there and it should work fine. We'll load that in. You do get a unsupported camera film gate setting error, which is just their camera in Lightwave is slightly different than you'd see in Max. You would have to set it up manually. Okay, there it is. We'll go ahead and set our viewport to the camera and look at it there. And let's switch back to the Lightwave and see how its aspect ratio is different. And there's no textures on it in Max. Okay, well, it got stripped out on the export. It's there in the materials editor, but you just have to repoint it back. So we'll do that now. So go to the materials editor, use the pick material from object, and then you've got a multi-sub-object material in Max, and you've got a front and side. So you got two material IDs here, and so we'll go ahead and point those to the right files. Under maps, go ahead and pick the front, and you'll get an error, and we'll go ahead and just point it. And I put all the textures that for the scene in the root directory of the FBX file format exported out of Lightwave, so it'll be easier to locate. Alright, so it loads those in there. You can do every single map for the specular bump and reflection and get it in there, and then go back up here and do the side as well. And then you'll have all the textures the way they had them in Lightwave, minus its rendering settings and things like that, which you can do. Alright, so let's go ahead and just load that up. And since the aspect ratio is not the same in the viewport, we want to match what the layout of NewTek's is. So let's go ahead and change our rendering setup. We'll change it from the width from 640 to 480 to the height of 840.